Sorry guys, we have a little technical problem, okay? And yeah, as soon as Pedro comes back, yes. There we go.
Okay.
Fit better now?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. I turned my phone off and took forever to turn back on.
I'm not that this thing is a little bit too modern for me, amigo.
Oh.
So, anyway, going back to the beginning, amigo.
I'm gonna read again because I think everything now that everyone say it was bad. I want to read again that what I read before because we lost all of these and I want to make sure that is recorded, Pedro.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, let me get my reading glass now. See, Pedro Sauer, the Grandmaster Pedro Sauer, the world's favorite Jiu-Jitsu teacher, has been training Jiu-Jitsu for almost 50 years, taking under the wing of the Grandmaster Hélio Gracie. He was a young boy. He was considered ADD and in and out of hospitals for mental health. But Grandmaster Hélio Gracie was the first one to believe in him and tell that he wasn't crazy. It was from that moment on that Jiu-Jitsu changed his life. Pedro talks with us about the power of Jiu-Jitsu in life and how it teaches us to resolve stress and become comfortable in our own skin. This message has never been more relevant than right now. Thank you for all your inspiration and friendship. Ours. Jiu-Jitsu practitioners worldwide will together overcome. Pedro, for those, I think those words describe so much about who you are, how incredible the art of Jiu-Jitsu. Then a lot of times I think people in today's time missing pieces very important of the time that you learn Jiu-Jitsu. Mm-hmm. And we see that more and more every day, and especially right now that we need to use Jiu-Jitsu outside the mat. And exactly. I'm sure a lot of people there never had that privilege or opportunity to learn from a Jiu-Jitsu master like you. Going back on your early days of Jiu-Jitsu, Pedro, well, tell us, because it's an incredible story that I have no doubt so many people today will relate it to, and a lot of people that have kids with a lot of things that they discover today, not knowing that the best medication for that would be Jiu-Jitsu. And you
without a doubt,
you prove that Jiu-Jitsu can cure a lot more things than people realize.
Yep, I agree, amigo. Well,
thank you for the opportunity to talk to you, Pedro. It's someone that I want to talk in a long time and has so much knowledge to teach all of us.
Thank you, amigo. I really appreciate you, Jacques. You've always been a great representative, a great guy. I still remember you, the young little guy. Even though we kind of might have a little difference age-wise, I think I hide my age pretty good. But
you look younger than me.
Oh, I don't know about that. No, I'm going to 62, so that, I'm born in 58, and I did start Jiu-Jitsu. First time that I saw Jiu-Jitsu in my life, I was just a young kid, but I didn't pursue training. My sister used to date one of Hélio Gracie's students. His name was Robert Cardin, and he used to teach me some moves at home. And what happened for me, Jacques, is that when I was a kid, I grew up, thought I had a complete understanding, and I used to believe that I was crazy. People used to call me crazy all the time. And I end up believing. I end up agreeing and believing that I was crazy. So I did some unbelievable crazy stuff. I've been in 12 different schools. I got expelled from every school that I studied before jiu-jitsu. Every single school. I was never been somebody who was aggressive or wants to fight people, but I was super, super hyper. I could not stop still 1 second. And yeah, I did all kind of I used to go to Brazil. I don't know if you're familiar. Casa de Saúde Dr. Reiras.
Yeah, yeah, I know where it is. Yes,
I
yes.
spent 1 year of my life going every day to Casa de Saúde Dr. Reiras to do electrical exams with electrical shocks. And I was a complete nutcase. I got to be honest with you. I was a nutcase. I started driving a car when I was 8 years old.
Man,
At 10 years old, I was already drifting cars. When I was 12, I was doing things in cars that adults could not understand, could not believe. And at 15, I bought my own car. I'm going to tell a quick story that I've been keep this quiet for a long time.
look, I want you to say everything that you feel, because I know we're talking now from the heart.
Yep. You just open up because I
Just
can
so
see.
that-
I can see how jiu-jitsu changed my life, and I'm pretty sure it will change a lot of people's life too, without a doubt. So that's why I never give up on people. When I was a kid, one time I was 16 years old, and a friend of mine got his mom's car, and somehow we decided to go to race. And it was 5 cars on the race, on the track. Well, I end up rolling over the car, like, flipping the car. And guess who was the guy who picked me up inside the car? It was Hickson. We're just little kids, 15 years old. 15 years old. I rolled over this car so many times. That was incredible. And I didn't have one scratch. When my door opened, well, the door was open. The car was no doors. I lost the doors of the car. It was a complete disaster. The first face that I saw was Hickson. And he picked me up, put me in the car, and we took off. And we went back to call the parents, for them to take the responsibility. So that's 15 years old, completely out of my mind, driving cars. And, believe it or not, Jacques, at that moment on, I learned how to put the car in 2 wheels.
Man.
And, that thought that, sometimes I think about it today, my gosh, what have I done? I can't believe I was doing that kind of stuff. But
I'm glad you have good guardian angels.
I have my guardian angel cannot blink the eyes. I don't think he never blinked the eyes. I never went to sleep. So, but going back to the early days, growing up in a family, my family was a big family too. I came from 6 brothers and sisters and many cousins. And I used to hang out with a lot of friends. And right in the beginning, my sister was dating a guy who was a professional boxer. His name was Machado. And he took me to the Santa Rosa, boxing academy, Santa Rosa.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that was the worst thing. I was super aggressive, and you go and you sign me up in a boxing gym. So I was like I was completely crazy. I was the only white kid. Do you ever heard about a guy's name is Chiquinho de Jesus?
Yeah.
The boxer?
Yes.
Man, Chiquinho de Jesus, and we had a match, and he beat the crap out of me. Who was the white kid over there? Crazy kid, I want to fight him. So Chiquinho de Jesus, he just mauled me. But anyway, that was my beginning. And the other part that I did as a martial arts, I did a little bit of Taekwondo. And I done Taekwondo for about 2.5 years. And I tested for yellow belt with Marco Ruas.
Man, okay.
We used to be neighbors. Me and Marco, we came from the same neighborhood, Flamengo. And Marco he was younger than 5 brothers. It was unbelievable brothers. And Zezé, one of his brothers, was a great friend of mine. And Marco was maybe a couple years younger than me, but super talented. One of the nicest guys you're ever going to meet in your life, Marco Ruas. And so anyway, I did Taekwondo, I did boxing, I did judo, And judo I did for about a couple years. I did judo in Laranjeiras with Professor Haroldo. That was the name of the academy. Ricardo Americano came from the academy.
Same place.
Yeah, do you remember the Ricardo Americano? And Alex Alexandre came from their place too. We got a whole bunch of people that came there. Very nice school. But me and my brother one time we tackled. The guy who used to take us there was my mom's driver, a chauffeur, and used to take us there. His name was oh my goodness, I got it. Gilberto, that's the guy's name, Gilberto. So one time, me and my brother Carlos, we tackled Gilberto and we broke his arm. So we lost our ride to judo. So we stopped training judo. And after that, I left one school, Zacarias, and I got kicked out from Zacarias. I got expelled, and I went to study in Ateneu São Luís. It was in a school in Catete, in Flamengo. Well, when I got there, guess who was the first guy who was in my classroom taking my spot? It was Crawling.
Crawling. Oh, man.
Crawling was in my seat. Remember in the early days, like, hey, this is my place, this is my seat, my name is over there, you know. We all pretty much pretend we're tough, you know. So I look at Crawling and say, hey, this is my seat, move. Crawling looked at me very quietly, got his stuff, and moved to the other seat. Didn't say a word. And later the teacher said, Crawling Grace. I said, Crawling Grace, what? So I kind of heard the name Grace, but I didn't know nothing about it. And Crawling one day, we started playing. Well, Crawling was a great guy. He toiled for me too. I gotta say honest, I gotta say thank you to Crawling, because my goodness, I was such a pain in the ass. I used to bug him so much. And one time he just flipped me, put me in the stomach. I couldn't move, I couldn't do nothing. And Crawling started to talk to me about jiu-jitsu. I was like, jiu-jitsu, I don't know what it is. I do boxing. Come here, I'll punch you in the face. You know, kid stuff, 14, 15 years old. Well, when I was in the street, growing up on the street in Flamengo, I see this guy walking every single day with his dog, some German Shepherd. And this guy used to pass and just keep looking at us and not say anything. And that was Rickson. So one time I see this guy pass and I look at him and say, hey, what the hell are you looking at, man? You keep looking at here. So Rickson came out kind of quiet. Hey, how you doing, guys? What are you guys doing over there? I said, man, I keep seeing you pass here every day. Just keep checking us up. So Rickson started hanging out in our group of guys. And I have no clue about jiu-jitsu. So Rickson asked me to go to the academy. I was probably 15, 16 years old. I go to the academy, I go there, and I saw Rickson training with a purple belt. Rickson was wearing a green belt. He's still in a kid's belt. And he was training against a purple belt. And when I saw the train, I'm going to be honest, tell you, I could not believe what's going on over there. And I told him, I'm never going to do something like that. This is crazy. You guys are out of your mind. I cannot believe you have not broke your neck yet. You just climb up the walls and flip it backwards. And man, it was a show as a little kid. So it took me 2 years to go back to the academy. And Rickson every day, come on, Pedro, let's go. Come on, Pedro. I said, no, you like to grab guys. I like to grab girls, Rickson. That's what I used to tell him. So one day he asked me for a ride. I had my car parked in the street, and it's like, hey, give me a ride to the academy. So I gave him a ride to the academy. When I was in front of downtown Rio de Janeiro, there was a parking stall right there in front. So I go park my car, and I told Rickson, I'm not going to do nothing. I already saw you guys doing this. Is not for me. No, don't worry, Pedrinho. Don't worry. Just come in. He used to call me Drope. Is my name backwards. Pedro Drope, no? So that's how he used to call me. So I go to the academy. When I arrived there, was Professor Grandmaster Hélio Gracie was there sitting down the front desk. Right when you walk in was a front table there, a desk. And he gave me this, shook my hand. I felt this little big shaking hand. And he's like, so, Rickson, that's the guy you told me? And Rickson said, yeah, that's him. Oh, come on. I said, no, I'm not going to train. Oh, yeah, you will. I was like, no, I'm not going to train. I already done. I already saw you guys doing. I don't like this stuff. You guys grab stuff too much. I like to box it. Oh, you like to box, my son? Hold on a second. So he put 2 16 ounces, those brown ounces gloves that you probably remember at the Gracie Academy.
The leather ones.
It was a big 16 ounces. And my gosh, Jean-Jacques, my first day of academy was the worst nightmare that I should never go back to the academy. I should never go back because I didn't get spanked. I think I got worse than raped. Worse. Because Grandmaster Elio was watching the training. He was telling, no, don't go again. Came one time, I left the ring area. It was a little change room. It was a bathroom. Between the two rings, there was a little change room. I went to the toilet. I hugged the toilet, and I stayed there for like 40 minutes, having convulsions, throwing up, completely out of shape. Well, after that day, I told Hicks, I said, Hicks, I need to learn this stuff. How can I sign up? And Hicks was like, no, don't worry, brother. Don't worry, my friend. Next time, you come back here next time. I said, no. I gotta learn this stuff. No way. And I got spanked by Hoyler. I got spanked by Hoyler was the little thing, like this big, man. 9 years old, just walk on my legs, put me down on the ground. When I was going to choke. I couldn't do anything. I was completely helpless. So I got a gi. Hickson gave me a gi as a long gi. And he told me, listen, if you keep training, this gi is yours. But if you stop training, you got to bring back. And I still have the gi. And the name of the gi is called Victor Vasconcelos. He's a very well-known surfer guy in Brazil.
Yeah.
That was his gi. So that's my beginning of jiu-jitsu. And after that, I was pretty much in a private class, semi-private class every day for 6 hours because I got hooked. We all get hooked. I fell in love with jiu-jitsu. We all know that. Jiu-jitsu is complete addictive. So I got hooked, and I spent hours, and I got chance to get mauled by Grandmaster Elio for hours and hours and hours every day. And he used to toy with me, Jean-Jacques. I cannot even tell you how Grandmaster Elio was. You remember how he was. We talk about this choke.
I know. And Pedro, looking today, would you ever imagine today the people that you train with? You have Hoyler, you have Hoyt, you have Holker, you have Hickson. Would you, I don't know, it's early, I know, but would you ever imagine you see all of those guys, what they done with jiu-jitsu and how far?
Exactly.
Because the amazing thing to me is you were part of that right in the beginning because they were your training partners. You're older than Hoyler and Hoyt, and I guess you're close age as Hickson, same age as Hickson.
Yep.
But it's incredible. How is it like growing up in the Jiu-Jitsu Academy? Like few people had what you had a chance to live. How is it, man? Like as you're growing up, getting older and older, and you see Hickson's transformation, you see being under Helio Gracie there, become a part of the family. Because I know you went many times to Itaipava, near Petrópolis, no sítio. How is that whole? Because I know Jiu-Jitsu goes beyond the academy.
Yep. Yeah. It was
things that you have afterward.
It goes way beyond. And it was a good camaraderie. We used to compete a lot. Grandmaster Helio, as we remember, he used to put us to fight all the time. But it was a very clean, very fair, very honest. We just respect each other. And behind the jiu-jitsu was the social aspect that we belong to a group that was, we take care of ourselves. We used to, do exercise. I never done that before in my life. And if I tell you, if you see my dad and my grandpa, the body, how my dad and my father and my grandpa, when I started jiu-jitsu, I was 130 pounds. I was so fragile. I have no muscles on my body. I'm not a guy who built muscly. I never have muscle. I was wired, very wired person, but no muscle at all, no strength. So Grandmaster Helio, he kind of related to the lack of strength that I had, but I was crazy. I got to be honest. I was crazy. I no question about that. I was, if you told me to do something or if you challenged me, I was like a complete fearless. And Jiu-Jitsu gave to me some kind of balance, gave me like a ground where I can look at people when I talk about to be comfortable in my own skin. When I was a kid, I was not comfortable in my own skin because I believed that I was crazy. I used to believe that I was, I hear everybody tell me Pedro's crazy. I listen to the in the family. Oh, Pedro's crazy. Oh, must be Pedro. Pedro's the one who done it. It was everything was Pedro. So I believe in that. And what Grandmaster Helio did with me, one time we were training, and Grandmaster Helio got in the mount position, and I was trying to escape, push and pull, elbow escape, and I couldn't escape. I couldn't budget. And he looked at me and said, "Oh, you think you're crazy?" And when he said that crazy to me, I kind of stopped and looked at him right in the eyes and said, "What?" And he looked at me, "Listen, you can trick your parents, but you don't trick me. You are full of crap." And you know that the moment on Jean-Jacques, he was the first person who ever called me. And I discovered later that my mom told Helio, my mom and Helio ended up to be very good friends. And by the way, they died on the same day.
Man, how...
Same day, same year. Yes, about 4 hours apart.
Man,
and my mom was a very incredible, she was a spiritual, very, very incredible lady. She was, you remember Chico Xavier in Brazil?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, my mom was, she was kind of belonged to the group. She was to, do meetings. So Grandmaster Helio liked to be on those meetings too. So my mom one day told Helio, say, "Oh, Pedro's crazy. Pedro does this. Pedro does that. Pedro's like this. I got kicked out from every school." And Helio looked at my mom and said, "Miriam, if I give Pedro $100 bill, do you think you eat it or you put it in his pocket?" And my mom like, "No, I think you put it in his pocket. I can still fix him. You watch out." And that's exactly what he did, man. He called me in the right there. And when I discovered that I could not trick Helio, that put me in a spot like, man, this guy is tough. Kick my butt. I don't trick him. He called all my stuff. So I started giving a more respect to Helio, and he took me under his wing in a way because I was just too fragile. Just for you to imagine, when Hickson was when we were young kids, Hickson decided to form his first competition team, Hickson Grace competition team. And I say, "Sign me up." I have no idea. I was probably a white belt, 6 months of class, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 months of sign me up, Hickson. How tough. Yeah. So I went to compete at halls at the Cross Academy in Figueiredo Magalhães. Yes. And I fought against Arthur Pardalzinho. Remember?
Yeah.
He beat the crap of me, man. So on the way to the tournament, Hickson, I was in the car, so Hickson was giving me the hint. So, "Pedro, gonna do like this, you put the hand on the collar, you put your foot over there, you put the guy in the guard." He was giving me all the hint. I was like, "Okay, put the guy in the guard, do this." So I got it. Don't worry. Oh man, Arthur Pardal passed my guard 20 times, at least, but he didn't finish me. So when the match was over, he was in a mount position, tried to squeeze my neck, tried to choke me, and I just hold on for dear life. And when Halls kind of rung the bell, and Arthur got up, I just saw Hickson's face come right to my face like this, smiling. It's like, "Dude, what are you smiling for?" I got spanked over here. "Man, you did awesome. This guy's a super tough guy." I was like, "You son of a, you didn't tell me that." Oh, that was funny.
And how was like, when did you realize? Because I remember in Brazil, as we get older, several years already training. Did you ever realize one day you will be actually teaching jiu-jitsu? Because you go through that transition as a student, then we fight tournaments. Some people go fights MMA, then teaching, and a lot of people don't. When did you realize, like, because when I met you, I don't know if a lot of people know, I remember you used to work in a stock market in Brazil.
Yep.
And as I mentioned to you before, you already trained jiu-jitsu for so many years. One famous story that we all heard, I don't recall exactly how it was, but I think someone tried to carjack you.
Yep.
Then you used the self-defense of jiu-jitsu and was able to save yourself and not allow the guy to take your car.
That's true. That's what, when I moved to America, when I decided to move to America was right after that. and I was dropping my niece at her house in Leblon, Rio de Janeiro. She got out of the car, shut the door, but I didn't put the pin down. I didn't lock it, and I was in a Canal de Leblon.
Yeah, that's danger there, man.
Very dangerous, dark, kind of remote. And I just heard a noise, boom, a big noise. When I saw, was a guy, was a big guy, just sit down, like a lot taller than me, like over here, sitting down side by side with me, and he's extending his arm like this, and he put a knife right against my neck over here, and he was holding the knife here. He was kind of shaking. He was kind of pretty nervous, and I can smell the breath of alcohol and drugs. It was horrible. So this guy starts saying, "Start praying, oh, son of a gun, because I'm gonna kill you." And I just very quiet, very calm, say, "Hey, don't worry, my wallet is right there. I got a wallet right there. I got some cash there." And the guy go ahead and go reach for my wallet, and I was still driving the car, so I hit the brake, and so when you brake, you kind of go a little bit forward.
Yeah.
I hold the steering wheel, and I move myself back, and I saw his arm go from here to here, and I just kind of put my hand like this, and I lock an Americana, and I broke his arm. I just broke his arm like it was a horrible broke, because I was terrified, and I didn't let go at all. I broke his arm, and I kept a broken arm in my hands, and I was holding his wrist with my hand, and my other hand I was like this, just elbow, and I don't even know how many, but I mean, it was horrible. It was blood everywhere.
But knowing Brazil that if we have to do that, unfortunately, to save our life, and but that it's funny because that just went all around all these jiu-jitsu schools.
Yep. Grandmaster wants to do the global news, wants to put in the global, because it was like, jiu-jitsu, was a good way to kind of demonstrate this feature. So, and I was a little stick, somebody of my size can do something like this. That was great. What's the kind of message that Grandmaster would like to do it.
And let me ask you this too, Pedro. I know, and it probably is more than few, but I would like to know if you will have one or that you can share for us. Something that the Grandmaster Helio Gracie said to you that you carry on with you until today. I know it must be more than one thing, but things that it mentioned to you that said, I always remember that. I will never forget that.
Yeah, I'm gonna say, Jacques, I believe today my personality that I have today is probably a big part was molded when I was a kid during the time with Grandmaster Helio, and listen all the advices, not just advices for life, but he used to give both advice, for the mat, for the training, for the fight, and for the life. And I gotta be honest, Helio was a very clever, very smart, very intelligent. And a couple of things, I remember so many stuff, but one thing that kind of stuck up with me, and it's very difficult to do it, he used to say, try to live your life without never say maybe. Or yes, or no. Flat out. And that's a very tricky thing to do. Things like, anything that we do for life, like, basically, the Grandmaster Helio was very respectful. And I believe that he was trying to make, put in our minds, was to kind of believe in jiu-jitsu, because I'm not sure if you remember, we believe in jiu-jitsu, but we didn't know how efficient jiu-jitsu was, how deep. We always kind of dressed the show, we fought, we done everything. But going out of our box, we didn't know exactly, Grandmaster used to tell, this is the best stuff, but I didn't know for sure. I remember when I moved to, I did a seminar when I came to America, I did a seminar in Utah, Salt Lake City, Utah. And when I got back, I told Grandmaster Helio, Grandmaster Helio, I can't believe it. I tap everybody. I can't believe it. I got able to submit everyone. And they looked at me and said, Pedro, I've been telling you for 20 years, this is the best.
And for having a great life in Brazil, with everything that you have, and I know being academy with so many great competitors, champions, why and when you realize why moving to America and why in America you engage and start even more your jiu-jitsu and be more as an ambassador as you it is today.
Yeah, you know, Jacques, when I was what happened at Rickson, when Rickson left Brazil, end of 1988, if I'm not mistaken, we spent almost a year without. I spent almost 1 year. I didn't see Rickson. I didn't saw Rickson at all for 1 year. And that year, I went to teach jiu-jitsu at Corpo Quatro.
Corpo Quatro.
Corpo Quatro, Álvaro Barreto and Silver Bering.
Yeah.
So what happened that when I decided to go there, Marcelo Bering took me there. Marcelo was a good. Me and Marcelo, we would train together. When Marcelo came to the academy, he was already a blue belt, and I was the first guy who actually sparred with him. And you know, we did a nice match. We ended up to be buddies. We have training partners for more than 10 years. A great guy. So he took me to Corpo Quatro, and as a matter of respect, I went back to the Grace Academy, Grace Humaitá, and I talked to Grandmaster Helio, say, Professor, you know, Grandmaster Álvaro Barreto is offering me opportunity to teach class. He just came here to ask permission. And Helio was like this, well, Pedrinho, if you want to teach jiu-jitsu, you should go to, I'm not going to mention name here because, you know, Helio was kind of rough here. You should go to this guy's, you know, one of the family, and you tell him that I send you there to teach him jiu-jitsu. Of course, I never did that. I never will. I'm never going to say it. But that's Helio's, my advice. Go there. So I went there, you know, I talked to great guy, was very friendly, very nice. But I ended up going back to Álvaro Barreto because Álvaro Barreto offered me an incredible deal. He offered pretty much twice as much salary I was making, not as a broker, but whatever the other school offered me a salary.
Yeah.
Grandmaster Álvaro he doubled my salary. So I spent 1 year at Corpo Quatro. And what happened in Corpo Quatro, I believe by lucky and maybe some kind of dedication, I used to arrive at Corpo Quatro every day at 3 o'clock, and I used to be there until almost 10 o'clock at night every day. We were fanatics at the time, so we spent 6-7 hours on the academy every day. Well, on the end of the year was a tournament in Niterói, and Corpo Quatro did it very well, positioned very well, point-wise, won a whole bunch of stuff. And Helio and Rickson was talking. Rickson was right in America, and Helio talked to Rickson and say, "Yeah, Pedrinho is now teaching in this place. So you know." And Rickson, man, maybe Pedro would like to come to America. He's a very skinny guy, you know, might be something. So Rickson was teaching Chuck Norris at the time. He was to do private class with Chuck Norris.
Yes.
Do you remember it was 1990, beginning of 1990. So, and when Chuck went to Brazil in 1985, I was a brown belt. It was the day that I got my black belt. I got my black belt in 85. But in 85, I was a brown belt at the time, and Chuck was doing a movie set, some kind of movie in Rio de Janeiro. And Chuck Norris, Bob Wall, and Howard Jackson,
Yes.
those three guys,
Yes.
they went to the Grace Academy, and I ended up training with Chuck. And you know, I'm a light guy, and I train. You know, I'm not I don't get in spasm. I'm very calm training, and I'm very delicate. So apparently Chuck liked it, and Rickson said, "Hey, do you remember the little skinny guy that was in Brazil that you wrote?" Yeah, I remember. So that's how I came to America. Rickson called me, "Hey, Pedro, want to come to America?" I said, "Yes, I will." I dropped the phone, sold all my stuff there, and I came to America. And I went to live at Rickson's house, and I came with Helio. We came about 2 days apart, and Rickson picked me up in the airport. We went to the beach right away. We start talking, and Rickson tried to film me up all the stuff. And he just told me, "You know, Pedro, the only word that you need to know is do like this."
Oh, do like this, man.
That's it.
Start teaching the class. Pedro, let me ask you this too. I think I can say that generations from the 80s, I think everyone say, and I do say to me, was the golden age of Jiu-Jitsu. And the reason I'm saying that is what was learned at that time from man, you go to the academy, look who's teaching the class. We have Grandmaster Ellie Grace.
Every day.
And what that did was give us the principles and a lot of information in Jiu-Jitsu beyond the techniques only that allow us to do Jiu-Jitsu for the rest of our lives. It just
Exactly.
such a like longevity that we can continue to teach through generations.
Mm-hmm.
And we are able to, as the day-to-day people come to our school, my school, we're able to teach them techniques. They go to the tournament and they do very well if they want to.
Yep.
What do you think was the difference from back in the time you learned Jiu-Jitsu and from the time the Jiu-Jitsu is today?
You know, I got a couple of thoughts here. One thing is that I can tell without a doubt that people at generation of the 80s, when we came under Helio umbrella, we did Jiu-Jitsu in a little bit different mentality. We remember we used to be embarrassed to tap, was tapping not allowed. Remember that?
Yeah.
We have to fight till the end. Tap was like, oh man, we did everything, but they didn't tap. Yeah, this guy, he kicked my butt, but he didn't tap. Remember? So
Yes.
what happened, that generation at that time brought that kind of mentality of pride and a lot of, honor. We had a lot of kind of, hey, you got to represent. We can, hey, you're not going to turn me down, man. Not going to embarrass me. It was kind of brought up with us with the knowledge of the techniques and mechanics. But the most important, I believe that the people in that generation, we understood Jiu-Jitsu. We didn't practice just Jiu-Jitsu. We start to understand how to apply Jiu-Jitsu, when to apply, where to apply. We understood the philosophy. We understood more the strategy. And I think that's something that's missing today for a lot of people. It's like, man, yeah, a lot of people do Jiu-Jitsu, but we need to understand when to do, when not to do, when to hold your horses, when to kind of, yield to win. When we understand this, that's the difference. I think that's one of the a big change for Helio Gracie generation and Rickson. Look at Rickson today, all the invisible Jiu-Jitsu. He understands Jiu-Jitsu in a different way. He can pass Jiu-Jitsu different. It's just the understanding is the only thing that I believe that's a little bit different.
I think it's also, we're not just learn Jiu-Jitsu. I think we live Jiu-Jitsu.
Yes.
We pass that stage of learning to live with
Exactly.
us every day. I teach my kids and all the relation that I have with my wife and everyone, it's based on the knowledge of Jiu-Jitsu. I think we carry that on our skin.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
Pedro, how was it the beginning of Jiu-Jitsu for you in America? Because you went with Rickson, then I remember you taught at the Gracie Academy, then you ended up moving to Utah and opened the school. How was that beginning? I know with the challenge of not speaking much English.
There was no English at all.
But we made it,
Yep, it was unbelievable. I was just do like this.
How is that for you? Because there's so many of us that on that time when it came in was no knowledge of Jiu-Jitsu anywhere. I mean, we have to show people without speaking the language what we have is gold.
Exactly.
And how was that challenge in the beginning, the difficulty? Because was the time that a lot of big guys come to your place to challenge you?
Huge guys. Utah, it is the biggest people you're ever going to come across in your life, because over there is the Mormon. The Mormon, they dominate the state. And Mormons, they don't drink, they don't smoke, they're very healthy. And the prophet of the Mormon church, Joseph Smith, he was a wrestler. So every kid in Utah do wrestling. And over there, I ended up meeting Mark Schultz, that was the BYU coach for the BYU University.
Yes.
And ended up to be a great friend of mine, one of the incredible, very unbelievable, nice guy. One of the toughest men I ever come across in my life. Unbelievable. Mark Schultz is as a species. I seen this guy doing things, Jean-Jacques, that I'm embarrassed even to talk about. It's unbelievable.
And how was that challenge like from from you to move and end up establish your school, and today you're at Virginia, right? But how is that? Because I know everywhere I go, man, I see someone representing you, Pedro Sauer,
Yep.
right here. It's so
Yep.
many schools. I think you are one of the guys, the instructors that has more affiliation everywhere. How
Yeah,
is
we
that?
have like a,
It's man.
yeah, you know what happened, Jacques? Right in the beginning, I met a guy from the East Coast, Frank Cucci. He
Yes.
used to run an academy in Virginia Beach. And he was a Navy SEAL. And when I met Frank, you know, we kind of hit it very well. And I started coming to Virginia Beach and spend every month 1 week. And I did this for many, many years. And what happened that Frank wants to, man, I want to start an affiliation. I want to, and I decided to do like a curriculum.
Yes.
You know, what I did, I got together with one of my students. His name was Jeff Curran. And we just, you know, let's one camera, just one camera. And I say, Jeff, grab like this. And I do the self-defense. Jeff, grab like that. Well, we spent 2 days. Jeff knows everything, hours and hours and hours. We put 176 moves as a curriculum, self-defense. And that's the beginning of the association. So today we have 150 schools that they affiliated. And one thing that's been, always been my personality, always been my, you know, my desire, because that's myself. Since the day one, I don't have enemies. I don't have people that I say, wow, I hate this guy, or I don't like. I don't know. If I do, I have no idea.
I never met anyone that do not say good things about you, or does not like everyone. You're very, yeah. When people talking about you, Pedro, everywhere, it's really to the highest. Really, really cool, man.
I appreciate it, and you know that's that's my mom. See, what I did for jiu-jitsu is my mom and Helio, both those two together. That's where pretty much where it kind of mold my life in my jiu-jitsu kind of career.
Yeah.
And when I did the affiliation and it started growing, you know, with the program, what I did, I put like, you know, 10 years mark. I say, I want to see people getting black belts in 10 years, give and take. I'm not here every day, so I cannot see you every day. So it's going to be 10 years, give and take. And I did that, and I set up a rule and regulations for everybody. And I remember Mark Schultz, that was an unbelievable nightmare. I know the guy was wearing a blue belt. He can tap any black belt. He was a monster, like a mean monster. And I told Mark, I'm sorry. This is
Headline, yeah.
you know, guidelines. And well, today I got close to 200 black belts that been in this kind of procedure. Like, no, every single one. They have to be 10 years, give and take.
You know, and I tell people today, it's a lot of great fighters out there, champions, but it's like in 2 years they reach out the black belt, less than 10 years. And what I try to explain to people is this: look, you have a book with 12 chapters. This guy just read 2. I mean, the problem is when he opens the school, he doesn't have the rest of the knowledge that needs to be learned to be able to teach jiu-jitsu
Exactly.
the proper way. And because a lot of schools today grow up in the competition system, they're making everything shrinking. And the problem is a lot of great fighters out there, unbelievable, but they never read the rest of the book. You know, and thinking about all those years that takes to get into a black belt, so many things we learn every day in the school.
You never stop.
Yeah, and until today, I'm still learning every day.
Unbelievable.
But is that they don't read the whole book. They just
Nope.
read 2 chapters. Oh, I know. No, it's a lot more to be learned in jiu-jitsu.
That's true. And you know, when you go to the sport, Jean-Jacques, when you kind of let's measure you achieve a level of a champion, competition champion, you are a very, very top-notch guy. But if you don't act, if you don't kind of, you know, if you don't put some kind of social benefits in this environment, what happened that we are just teaching people how to be tough guys, fighters. The social benefit, the social improvement, in my personal view, is one of the most important and has to be associated with the progress of jiu-jitsu.
100%.
You know,
Uh-huh.
because that's the way that you build longevity.
And look at right now, how many people are in such a need of the extension of jiu-jitsu outside the school, outside
Yep.
that. And hopefully, and a lot of people that are seeing there understand that jiu-jitsu goes beyond the dojo. And right now, especially, we all need that to be conscious on that aspect, to learn and use the jiu-jitsu on every day. And I tell people, man, jiu-jitsu teaches to care about others.
Exactly.
People come to your school, you're teaching somebody, and we know now that, man, I'm going to change this person's life for better.
Exactly.
You know, we
We have this ability.
understand. It's incredible, man.
And when we offer this to our students, we bring the social benefits, we bring the the physicality, the moral. When you add all those values, we build longevity. Today, those 200 black belts that I made, 90% is still active. They don't stop. They don't stop. The age is not a problem for you to stop. You know, I saw Grandmaster Helio when I met him. He was my age. He was 60 years old. And I was socialized with Grandmaster Helio until he, 95. At 92, he tried to kick my butt. we have this on video. One day I got to release that. He mounted me. He tried to beat me flat out. 92 years old.
Yeah, that's it.
You know exactly what I'm talking about, huh?
You remember he used to carry a little bag with him? And I think inside that bag, I think he had a gun with.
He was something else, and
I know.
I remember going to his house, and he was in a 12 gauge. Arriving his house in Taipava. Do you remember the dog they used to have there, the Boomer?
Boomer, yeah.
My
Biggest
gosh,
dog I ever seen in my life.
the dog looked like a cow. It's like a humongous.
I never see a dog that big.
And he was a mean dog too. He was aggressive. He was not a friendly one.
No. But
You
that's the kind of dog he likes.
I know. And remember, he shot the dog. He shot him twice. Remember that? He put two bullets.
And the dog did not die.
Didn't die. So I remember going to his house and have to be facing Boomer,
Man.
biting the mirror of my car. He tried to rip the mirror of the car. And I said, I'm not going to get out of the car here. I said, no way. So Grandmaster Helio, he did have he was a character, but he knew exactly what he was doing. He built an incredible, you think about the people that study with Grandmaster Helio, yourself, Rickson, Rory, Helson, everybody, the Machados. Think about the people that kind of got to know him. Everyone is still pretty active. And everyone is still pretty, helping and doing a lot of great work with Jiu-Jitsu.
To have that determination, the discipline, and that's what I'm saying is all these people from that 80s, they had such a longevity in the Jiu-Jitsu that I know I'm going to train Jiu-Jitsu until the day I die. I have no problem, Pedro, let me ask you this. What Jiu-Jitsu means to you?
Well, Jiu-Jitsu means one of the most intelligent forms of martial arts. That's the one. But I believe that we can mold people, personality-wise, to be better humans. I believe that when people come to Jiu-Jitsu and they start to understand the reality of the negotiation that we have to do with our bodies, negotiation that we have to do with our thoughts, the lack of patience that sometimes can come up towards us, or sometimes way too much patience. When you start balancing all this, down the road, I believe that this prepares us for longevity, prepare us to face life.
And I think this is an easy question. Who is Pedro Sauer?
I'm the most simple guy you're ever going to meet in your life. I'm a carpenter, mechanic, plumber.
Like cars? I think you like cars.
I can drive. I can do anything. Can you believe that I do seminars? I've been doing seminars for 30 years, pretty much every weekend. I can never walk in a bathroom without clean the bathroom. And I mean full clean. And I say this honestly because I learned this from Grandmaster Helio.
I know. I know.
I walk in any bathroom, can be any place, anywhere, public bathroom, doesn't matter. I'm gonna clean it.
And I think those are one of the things that shows that we do care about others. You know,
Yep.
it shows that we're no better than anybody. You know, we love what we do. And I think you know now more than ever that we feel that we have a mission in our hands, because what was passing on, now I'm able to pass on to make the difference in so many millions of people's life there. And like I was reading that to you, Pedro, you are someone that is one of the most likable person that I have seen in our jiu-jitsu community.
Thank you, man.
Everyone from what we can call enemies or rivals, they only have good things to say about you.
Thank you, man.
Know you for all this time and hear the stories, and going back in time in Brazil, a lot of things that I spoke with Rickson about it, to see that how loyal you are, how incredible person you are.
Thank you, amigo.
That's one of the why Pedro's, everybody loves Pedro so much in jiu-jitsu, and he does so well. And
I appreciate it.
Easy explanation, man, for the way you are, the way you conduct yourself. You still being an example for all of us, an amazing student, fighter, doctor now, and knowing that how important it is to use jiu-jitsu to benefit the others.
I appreciate it. It's the same with you, amigo.
Muito obrigado pela essa oportunidade, pô. Stay safe, né?
Prazer, meu amigo. Vamos voltar em breve.
Vamos sim, cara. Obrigado mesmo. Pô, tudo de bom, e daqui a pouco a gente vai estar junto, conversando mais próximo.
Maior prazer, Jacques. Tudo de bom para você, meu irmão. Um beijo no coração. Olha, saúde para você, tudo de bom. Muita saúde para a família toda. Continue sendo esse exemplo aí, Jacques, que você também é uma pessoa que todo mundo te quer muito bem.
Pô, muito obrigado, Pedrão. E em breve vamos estar juntos. Valeu.
Se Deus quiser, meu amigo.
Pô, fica com Deus, cara. Obrigado.
Obrigadão, Jacques. Saúde pra você, um abração. Tá tudo de bom pra rapaziada toda ouvindo aí. Um grande abraço e obrigado pela oportunidade, hein, irmão?
Ó, vamos ter que fazer outro em português, tá? Todo mundo pedindo português.
Vamos fazer isso, a hora que você quiser.
Abraço, obrigado, Pedro.
Obrigado, Jacques. Saúde, irmão. Tudo de bom. Um abraço aí, rapaziada.
Valeu.
Tchau, tchau.